This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings, powered by eXp Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
So Valerie, before you came into the studio, Matt and I were having a conversation, and I don't think he really believed me. Did you, Matt?
No, I didn't, and I couldn't believe. You're going to be shocked, Valerie. You're going to be shocked at what your husband had to say. He said that your precious baby, when he was born, looked like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. That is one ugly baby. How could he say such a thing about your precious baby boy?
You know, they all look a little funny when they first come out.
No, my kids looked like the most beautiful thing I had ever seen in my life. They were a creation that only God could put together.
I agree with that, yes. But, yeah, they definitely get cuter with time.
So, wait. Hold on. I'm still trying to clear this up. You thought your babies, when they were born, were ugly?
No, just not as cute as I knew they would be someday.
They had potential.
There you go.
They had potential.
It's like baking a cake, right? You have the batter all mixed up. It doesn't look good. The cookies are what look good.
So
just need some time.
That's a good question. When is the sweet age of when your child looks the cutest? So obviously for you guys, it's not when they're first born.
No. They're all.
I think they start looking more normal when they have teeth and hair.
Well, even then, I would argue, like Jack, he took a long time to get hair, and he was still very cute by like 6 months, I think.
Oh my gosh!
My daughter
like jack-o'-lantern head.
My daughter didn't have hair till she was like almost 2 years old.
Yeah, Jack was. I mean, you look at his first birthday pictures, and there's just like a little tiny wisp on top.
I like babies with no hair. I don't think babies with a big head of hair look that cute.
Well, beauty's in the eye.
It would be way creepier if they came out with hair and teeth, Johnny. Like,
no, I'm not saying they should. You know, everything, you got to walk before you can run. But I'm just saying they look more normal when they have teeth and hair.
Babies aren't supposed to look normal. There's a reason why they are born cute. Is because it's a natural thing. God created that way so that parents would take care of their babies. If they were ugly,
see, I look at it.
Like,
okay,
I don't care.
No, it's like
true.
ugly. It's
I'm
like
not kidding.
They're horrible, and it's like, okay, God made them that way because you need help.
God made babies.
You
cute
need
so
me.
That we
I
would
can't
take care of.
Yeah, you need me. You're so ugly. I need to help you.
But we were relating that to real estate in the fact that people seem to look at their own homes like they do their children. There's emotion.
100%.
What's your perspective on that?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So you hit the nail on the head because people and they become nose blind to the smells in their houses.
Oh,
I
didn't touch on that.
Oh, yeah. Explain
that is my
what does that mean? Nose blind. I've never
peeve.
heard that term before.
Yeah. Well, because you smell something a number of times, right? And eventually it just becomes normal to you. And it's like, oh, well, this is just how it smells. It doesn't smell weird. It's just,
you don't smell that cat urine?
No, seriously, people don't.
But even like these microphones. Like I joke with people, get close enough so you can smell it. You know, and it does not smell like we're nose blind to these suckers. These are not. This does not smell like a pumpkin spice latte. You know,
but it's true. So you go into homes and it's like, oh my gosh, you smell that stench, but they don't.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. Especially with pets. Like cats are really bad, but even with dogs, it's like you walk in the house. Oh, they have dogs. You know, even if they try. You know, if they could be really clean and like vacuum up all the hair, but dogs just have a certain smell, you know, and other dog people don't mind, you know, because it's just they're used to that smell in their house too, right?
It's like smokers. Like if a smoker walks into another smoker's house, they're not, you know, offended by the smell.
Right.
But if a non-smoker walks into a smoker's house, you're like, oh my gosh,
they're
that's
like,
overpowering.
Ew, it smells like smoke.
So obviously when you're meeting with somebody and they think their home is worth a lot more because they have this emotional affection for their home. What do you tell them when their home stinks? Your home's not going to sell because it stinks. What's the conversation there?
Well, a lot of it we kind of outsource. So whether it's price or condition, we have people that here's the process, right? So you sign the listing agreement.
Right.
We're going to go ahead and have a home readiness consultation, right? So we're going to send someone in that's a professional stager and they give you tips on what to do with your house, right? Because most people live there, right?
Go ahead and just look at me, Swigger.
Oh, most people, they live in their home, right? And so they just need to rearrange their furniture a little bit and, move things around. So we have them come in and they will say things like, oh, you should touch up the paint here, or you should, put in some Febreze plugins or whatever, so
they give them, they deliver the honest truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So that it's not coming from us.
Because they take it personally, and we don't want them to think that we can't sell their house or we don't want to sell their house. Like, we love their home, and just here's some tips on how to make it more appealing to a buyer.
To other people. Yeah, because what really matters is when the buyer walks in and what do they think about the house.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because can you remove smells like cat urine and smoke is that possible? Have you ever come across something like that?
There's ways. It just depends on how involved you want to get in that. Because if it's and it depends on the severity of the situation. So if like
because sometimes you'd have to probably like remove the carpet, right?
Remove
If
the
it's
carpet,
that bad,
remove carpet, remove furniture. You would have to maybe even remove sheetrock if they've been going on the walls. But there are processes to do that. I think what is it called? An ozone. What's it called? An ozone machine or something like that?
Yeah, there's multiple ways. I've seen like these little bags that they hang up to. They're like these cloth bags that are supposed to help absorb smells and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all different, ways to do that.
But most people are, blind to their situation, or it's not as bad to them as it would be to potentially somebody else. And so, they think their baby is a little bit prettier maybe than it is. But I was also telling Matt the other reason is it's a financial reason, right? Like if you say something negative about their home or maybe something that they don't necessarily agree with, maybe more of an opinion, then to them that's taking money out of their pocket. That's devaluing their property.
Totally.
And so we just want to make sure that we're not here to devalue your property. We're here to net you the most amount of money, and here's how we can help you do that.
Right. It's just adding value by cleaning, decluttering, getting rid of the smells. It's only adding more value to your home by doing stuff like that, and it's pretty inexpensive to do.
It's the best bang for your buck.
Oh yeah.
Deep clean the property. Make sure it is clean. The backyard is clean. The front yard is clean. The exterior has been touched up. Like if you just do a deep clean of the property, clean the windows, that'll go way further than like the return will be higher than putting in like a new kitchen or a new bathroom or something like that.
Right. Yeah. It's 100% true. Yeah. And it's good to have the home readiness consultation too, because then they can come in with the perspective of somebody else. Like you may think your house isn't cluttered, but that's to your own standards, right? But what are other buyers looking at, and they just see all of your stuff on the counters, right? And so they can provide that outside perspective of like, oh, well, maybe you should think about putting those things inside the cabinet instead of setting them out on the counter. So,
right.
Yeah, it's like going to a doctor. You think, hey, I'm healthy, and they start asking you questions. You're like, dude, you got to change your lifestyle. You're going to be dead in the next 7 years, And
Right.
it's that neutral third party that reshifts your paradigm a little bit and is like, oh, okay, I didn't think of it from that perspective.
And is it harder conversation with folks that are older that have kind of been set in their ways for decades? No?
I think everybody.
Really?
Yeah.
I was in a house yesterday, and I'm pretty sure they're like in their 30s, maybe 40s, right? So not older people, right? And they are just stuff everywhere, and they, it's not like they're set in their ways at all, but they would be offended if I was like, put away your stuff.
So something I've been working on personally with Jack, our oldest, is I'm a very like cut and dry person. I'm not necessarily like fun. But if you're trying to communicate with a 2-year-old, he's almost 3. We'll say a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
If you're trying to communicate with a 3-year-old and you're coming at it from like, and you sound like NPR, it's not very fun to them, right?
Right.
But if you come at it from like, hey, this is
buddy.
fun, this is great. Hey, I'm going to meet you on your level, and then and then we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, he buys into it and he takes ownership of that.
Yeah.
And so when we're meeting with home sellers, like
You treat them like preschoolers?
we're so excited to work with them. Yeah, we give them a sucker. Here you go.
Gold
You
star.
clean up
Gold
this
star.
clutter, we'll give you some goldfish.
Exactly. No. So what I'm just saying is you got to meet them on their level because some people
Yeah.
are going through a hard time.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, the properties that need more work are that way because there's been a life event.
Yeah.
And so we're not there to like judge them or degrade them or their property. We're there to help them. And so if the house smells like a bunch of cats, well, maybe there was a situation going on where this lady was adopting all these cats.
Yeah.
Or if there's a bunch of personal belongings in the property, maybe that person went through a period of life where they didn't have anything and now they're afraid to let anything go. You know, and so we're here to like meet them and match whatever, you know, situation they're in and guide them through it. So if you're listening to this, like we're here to help. That's at the end of the day, full stop. That's our job, is to help you through that process and be your guide.
Yeah, because it is whether you're selling or buying, it's an emotional purchase transaction. It's not a house, you know, and obviously you guys are looking at it from a more of a transactional perspective because you want to net them the most money possible for their home, and you're looking at all these different aspects of it. But it is super emotional because it's going to be where you raise your kids or make memories. And so as their representatives, as their advocates per se, you kind of do have to have that little aspect of where you have to sometimes have the skills of a psychologist or a therapist. You know, you do have to have those let's call them personal skills.
For sure.
You know, that's something they don't teach you when you get your license, do they, Johnny?
No, they don't. And that's why I hired Valerie immediately.
There you go.
I was like, I cannot do this alone. I need help.